Let's return to our chat now with Professor Mary Metcalf. We're talking about whether the decision to take grades 6, 11 and some grade R's back to class today is a good one at this time. Mary, I think we have you on a better line now, so let's just recap very quickly what you were telling us earlier on about whether this is a good move or a bad move at this point, especially where we've been warned by health experts and scientists that the next couple of weeks are going to be very crucial here in terms of our infection rates and what's expected to happen.
Yes, the next few weeks are going to be crucial, and I think that parents who are caught in this quandary about keeping their children safe and ensuring that they keep on learning need to take a long-term perspective, because the tension between being safe and learning is something we're going to manage together as parents and schools for the next 18 months. Schools have got huge new challenges. They not only need to receive the PPEs, the masks, the sanitizers, make sure they have water, but they also need to have systems in place in the school to use them effectively, and those are the two most important steps. Now, parents are correct to be concerned. Is the material there? But they also need to be in touch as an organized group through the school governing body, to be working with the school to make sure that on a consistent and ongoing basis for the next 18 months, the routines are in place all of the time. This requires working so closely with the school, and that should be the priority of parents. I want my child to be safe, and I want my child to be learning. How can I support the school to make sure that we are consistently practicing the measures that protect myself and protect others, and crucially in the school situation, that protect teachers, because they are much more vulnerable health-wise, and of course the workers in the school and the teachers, than most of the children.
Yeah. Mary, I mean, we had the Education Minister say that what they're doing now is much better than a system-wide closure over the same and even longer period of time. She says it would come at an unacceptable cost of learning and school feeding for an entire generation. But many out there argue, why couldn't we have just waited maybe another couple of weeks? You know, would it have really made that much of a difference, considering we are sort of behind anyway? What difference would maybe another month have made to send these kids back?
I think the urgency of getting children back into learning, whether it's learning at home or learning at school, is something we can't overestimate. Children who are the poorest in the country are the ones that are most behind in terms of mastery of reading, mastery of numeracy. Children who are in communities that are poor are the ones who are least safe at home, least safe in community in terms of crowded conditions, in terms of various challenges in the community. I believe that we need to have schools that are safe, that can welcome children and keep them safe in school, ensure that they're fed, that they have the National School Nutrition Program, that they have opportunities to understand this virus, to understand how to behave, and that they are in a structured environment. Now, the challenge in all of this is that whenever schools go back and whatever grades go back, there's going to be most of our children are going to be spending as much time at home learning as at school learning. And establishing this connection between home and school learning can only be facilitated when learners are back at school. Yeah. Parents will need to encourage routines for children to learn at home and will need material.
And I suppose, Mary, you know, right now it is this pandemic, it is COVID-19 that is calling the shots, I suppose, and we have to find out where we fit into that. So as much as we try to go back to a normal situation or the new normal at schools, I suppose the other question is, how do we navigate the rest of the year? Do we carry on? What are the implications for final exams? Do we do them as normal as we would have done if we were not hit by this pandemic? What are the changes? How do you see us going through this to the end of the year to get these kids to the next grade that they're supposed to be in? And will it be sort of a fair process, if we have to put it, considering some have access to online learning and others don't, like you say?
We have to see 2020, 2021 and 2022 as a as a period of time in which we're going to manage what basic concepts need to be understood by learners. And we can't think that we're going to do in 2020 what was planned to be taught in 2020. A condition for me of going back to school in conditions of equity and fairness is that we reduce the high stakes of passing and failing. Children should not be feeling anxious about passing or failing. They need to be in schools where teachers are encouraging learning, which are focusing on the fundamentals of numeracy and literacy and core concepts. And teachers need the freedom to use their professional judgment to make teaching decisions that are in the best interests of learners, not only in covering content, but in dealing with their socio-emotional needs. Schools need to be places of caring, of nurturing, and making sure that children are receiving teaching that is where they need to be. Young children are going to have forgotten a lot of what they learned in February and March. So it's a school as a caring community that makes sure that we're supporting learning at home and learning at school over the next 18 months to 2 years.
Thanks very much there, Mary Metcalf, just on the second round of back to school for the country amid COVID-19. Well, as we know, many parents still very anxious about sending their children back to school. And